Mad as Hell segment tonight. We have a lot of complaining about me, your humble correspondent. Here to help us out with that, Leslie Marshall, who's always complaining about me. She is in for Heather at Now or Tonight. All right, Leslie. Letter number 1 comes from Helen Louise, lives in Vero Beach, Florida. I am very angry at you, Mr. O, for mocking Mr. Putin. Please apologize to him publicly. Show respect, because mocking him makes you a biased reporter. All right, Helen, I'm never going to apologize to Putin. Here, what's the lowdown on him?
Well, I agree with you, and this is a scary thing in itself, but this guy called himself a bully as a child. He's still a bully as a leader, whether we look to Chechnya and a village where he commanded more than 300 civilians to be killed, or people that speak their mind and criticize him or his government who are imprisoned or they're sent out of the country. Secondly, he supports countries that are enemies to the United States or appear to be enemies to the United States, Syria, Iran. And thirdly, the anti-gay measures. He's not in favor of equal rights.
But his background as a KGB guy, I mean, this guy is a ruthless SOB, yes. And he needs to be called out. So I'm happy I do it. Letter number 2 comes from Manny de la Rodriguez, El Paso, Texas. I'm mad as hell at you, Mr. O, because you said on Jimmy Kimmel that President Obama is a patriot. Really? Also, I seriously doubt that you know the definitions of the words of the day, you big phony. Another happy customer. All right, Leslie, I said on Kimmel that both President Bush the Younger and Barack Obama are patriots because they serve their country. May not agree with them, all right, but I don't think you say they're not patriots unless you have, evidence that is just through the roof. I think almost every president who's ever served this has been a patriot, including Richard Nixon. You say?
Oh, I agree with you, but the definition is a patriot, a person who loves, supports, and defends his country and its interests with devotion. And whether you like the man or his policies, I believe that the sincere intent of this president, Barack Obama, and I think most presidents, is to improve the nation for the people.
I agree, but the far right thinks he is subverting the nation and the Constitution on purpose. That's what the far right believe, and they believe it sincerely. You don't.
No.
Okay? I respect the far right's point of view, but it's not based on fact to me. It's based on opinion. So unless I see a fact that says Barack Obama is intentionally harming this country, intentionally the key word, I'm going to go with what I said.
I agree.
Number 3 from Rachel Olinsky, North Miami Beach, Florida. Really mad about all the fuss the imaginary war on women is making. Michelle Obama would have a tremendous impact on our black daughters if she would encourage them to reach higher, not have children when they themselves are children. Interesting point. What are the stats on black kids having children? Well,
although the number has been down over the past decade, and that's a good thing, I have to say this is bad, this number. I mean, most recent data available shows 21% of African-American teens will have children before their 20th birthday.
Compare it to whites. Do we have a stat?
Not just compared to whites, but compared to Hispanics, et cetera. So we're looking at the last numbers we have from the CDC, 72,000 African-American births.
Right, so 21%, but do we have a white number of how many white teens?
We have like 7%. There are various figures.
So it's 3 times higher.
Oh,
about 3 times higher.
Easily 3 times higher. Okay. But the first lady, I feel, leads by example.
Well, I said to President Obama in the interview, I think you should make it a campaign. This whole thing about the fractured family and all of that. And I do. I believe he could do that, and Michelle Obama could do it very eloquently. Number 4 comes from Carolyn Rodriguez, Oakhurst, New Jersey. I'm interested in hearing news about Bridgegate and other scandals involving Governor Christie, but Fox News gives these stories little or no coverage. I'm angry because you, Bill, point that other networks effective news coverage. Look, all I can tell you, Carolyn, is that we covered the Christie story comprehensively on The Factor. If there's any other solid information, you'll get it from me. But the liberal networks are speculating all day long on the governor, and we don't do that. Period. We don't do it. All right, finally, the 5th letter, Hilda Cannon, San Jose, California. I'm mad as hell because every time I walk in our local mall, I almost suffocate from the strong cologne smell that comes out of Abercrombie & Fitch. I cannot be the only one mad about this. Well, doctor, since I rarely go to malls, I'm throwing to Leslie. She's in the malls all the time. You know, this perfume stuff, they do spritz you all over the place, right?
Well, first of all, Bill, I'm concerned you're not getting out enough. I'll take you shopping. We're going shopping at the mall this afternoon.
There's a riot when I walk in.
Yeah. Okay. The name of this cologne is called Fierce. And, it's called Fierce. Fierce, the cologne that she's complaining about.
Right.
And actually, she's not alone. A few years ago, Teens Turning Green are an environmental group that are upset about this, and they
So they
protested the
spray
flagship.
you, or what did they do with
Yeah,
you?
they do, but you know
They
what?
spritz it all
if
over?
Hilda's upset with Abercrombie & Fitch, any large department store would really upset her because they have more
They're
people than I have
But they
shoes.
ask you if you want to be spritzed. They ask you.
I've been
in
spritzed
large.
without being asked.
If I get spritzed, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
I don't want any spritzing.
And for the record, I'm sitting in studio with Bill, and he does smell divine.
I know. I mean, but if I want to spritz, I'll spritz myself. Leslie Marshall, everybody, and if you are mad as hell, we want to know about it. Please write us at madashell@foxnews.com, madashell@foxnews.com.